I think this ties in very nicely with the whole approach of the book, really, where you're moving very much from what was previously a sort of prescriptivist standpoint towards description and towards thinking about numerous options for dealing with particular situations. Whereas in the more textual-based parts of the book, it's about strategies, translation strategies. When we go into the chapter on ethics, we're talking much more about options of behaviour, roles that interpreters and translators take. Do you think that that's an area that has been neglected in translation studies teaching? I think, for example, very much about the way in which ethics has been approached in terms of a sort of rule-based system, in the way that, you know, if this happens, do this. And is that something you're trying to counteract?
Indeed. I mean, my approach in this chapter is completely different, and I actually start by saying that translators and interpreters cannot assume that they can simply fall back on codes of ethics, codes of practice that are provided by the different associations, but they have to learn to think critically for themselves and decide for themselves, obviously within kind of a broader awareness of the entire discipline, entire profession, but they have to think for themselves what is ethical, what is the right way to behave. You cannot prescribe these things because every situation is unique and every person you encounter and deal with is unique. So there's no way you can prescribe behavior in issues of ethics. You can draw kind of broad outlines of what is the right thing to do in general, but you can't prescribe behavior in specific situations. And therefore, what I've tried to do in this chapter is it's the same kind of approach that I adopt in the rest of the book, which is it's not a prescriptive approach. It's about giving students a set of conceptual tools with which to reflect on a particular area of practice or a particular area of behavior. So I've tried to do the same here, and like the rest of the book, again, the arguments are based on concrete and authentic examples. These are not situations that I make up. These are situations that are actually documented by professional translators and interpreters. And so I use these authentic examples to allow students to think through the arguments, particularly when you have controversial positions. It's very important to be able to think through the arguments for and against a particular position, even if you know in yourself what it is that you prefer or what you think is the right thing. It's always important to see the other side and to rehearse the arguments for the other side. And so I've tried to build that also in the exercises at the end. So some of the exercises at the end of that chapter are about taking controversial, sometimes high-profile situations and rehearsing the ethical, not the textual arguments, but the ethical arguments for and against particular types of decision.
Which, of course, are evidenced in textual behaviour. So the fact that a translator makes a certain decision textually will impact upon the ethical behaviour, or it mirrors, if you like, or embodies that ethical behaviour.
Some of the decisions are made at a very macro level. So, for instance, there's the decision to accept or not accept an assignment that you know, before you even get into the textual issue. But a lot of the decisions are made at the level of the text itself, textual choices and their implications for others.